Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm going to track the final 3 games of Carlsen in this early titled Tuesday, January 30th. He's currently on 7.5 out of 8, 1 perfect, Jospim, 8 out of 8. Some others, Artun, Hans on Twitch, Bortnik, Caruana, Kramnik, a lot of players with 7 out of 8, so we'll see what these final few rounds bring. Okay, here we go, round number 9, Carlsen with white. I've been catching a handful of his games from this event. His last game, he started out the wild rook pawn, but something more serious here, to be sure. E4 and 92, so still staying flexible. Might go for a G3 setup. Yeah, we do have that G3, Bishop G2. There is a bit of a tell there with Knight E2. Could still turn it into an open Sicilian. We do have that. I'm having difficulties drawing an arrow. The moves are coming in just before I'm trying to draw them in, so I always have to watch out for Knight D5 with this rook on E1, but not here, I don't believe. Black's just a move out from kingside castles. So we're going to have an ending here. Playing against the structure, basically. He's going to try and show that these guys are wonderful. Oh, do you exchange queens? Okay, no, you don't initiate it. He's okay recapturing with the knight. I believe you could have also initiated and then captured here. Oh, okay, so no queen exchange here. Yeah, knight a4, sensible to focus on the weak square and also look to kick this strong piece away. C4. So not quite an ending with the queen still on. Where do we go from here? Sensible moves. That crossed my mind. Queen e2, c4. Might see the h-pawn. Bolt as well. Try and induce some weakness. c4 first. Rook maybe just all the way back. Oh, okay, you don't even have to react just yet. Tempo against the queen. It's now a decision. Do we want to go for this kind of maneuver? Oh, he has an eye maybe on rook b3. There's no rook b8. Bishop has that one covered. Offer of a queen exchange yet again. So you got this majority. It's not the easiest majority to create a passed pawn against these guys that are split. One thing I like here is this pawn fixed. One thing I would like for white. This guy here fixed on a dark square. So it could be targeted by this guy. So bad, good versus bad bishop positions can tip in white's favor. Yeah, very tough to remove this knight, really. Wow, he's welcome to taking on doubled b pawns. That's very interesting. So he's saying that if you contest the file, in the end there's, well, this pawn would fall straight away, actually. Exchange rooks, bishop takes, knight takes c5. So slowly improving the king now. I spoke of a majority here for white on the queen side. Black has these guys. They're healthy. King's walking a tightrope here towards the center. Okay. These guys are nice and cozy. Black's in a, I think, pretty decent position here. Better white rook is the only thing I see here for white. Well, this is the big difference that sticks out to me. The rook positions. The knight is under control pretty well. And these forward moves over here. c5 is defended well enough, and now black is poking around. Carlsen on the defensive. It was a threat. Trying to follow up with a skewer would not have been there. The bishop could have returned to e5 and defend g7. I think it's best I just highlight squares instead of trying to draw an arrow. Like 1 for 7 in trying to draw an arrow here. Some dark square weaknesses in Black's camp. Still a potential target. Also, king c3 and b4 is going to be away. Yeah, we do have that. Now, do you try and clamp down on the b4 break? Is the thing. Also, if this knight moves, there's a check here. Okay, he's doing it with the rook. You make progress. You definitely want to watch out for this. Okay, so clamping down on this break. This guy's all in on the queen side. Well, that's interesting. You try and reroute him. Going after this guy. He's creating a square here first. Also staying out of the way of knight e4. So we might have this, knight f6, bishop here. Knight e4 is no longer hitting with check. I think you have to try and get this bishop in the mix here. Oh, wow. Wow, I did not see this one coming. He's going to walk up to a4 with the king. Notice he's not so quick to give up this f6 square to the knight, but this knight is going to find a very good square here on c6. And look at how quickly the bishop's there to tame this guy. A lot of pressure on the clock here. Minute advantage for Carlsen. Now, forget about the king walk up to a4. I don't know if you could really... He's still going to go for it. I spoke too soon. Okay. Bishop takes knight. Black is the only side that could really be better there. And the 2 pawns, b4, c5, would restrict these 3. Only 1 base point to watch over after a takes b. And I feel like Black would be able to get this advance in much more easily with the minor pieces off. You might have repetition, or might go for repetition. He's still going to try. Could overpress and lose. Trying to squeeze more out of the position than is really there. So if you try to enter here, the king's going to step right back over. And the knight is not even allowing this idea to sneak up here. Is now a moment to maybe try for it? It'd be very risky. Okay, he's going for it. He is going for it. Let's see what kind of restriction that really places on Black. I guess it is going to place one, because then rook here, king back, you could start thinking about capturing on a5. So right here. Now if king here, the rook is not in a spot to place some pin, so the rook could enter. It's going there first. Was that a... Oh, it wasn't a mouse slip. That was really his intention. So a super active white rook. Pressure on the clock. Under 3 seconds. Okay. Wild rook. Some breathing. He's going to win this one. Yeah, he's mopping up every pawn. And look at how active this king is in the end. Wow. King walk up the A file there. That was beautiful. Might insert the check. So this, and then you're already on this guy. They're all going to fall. Resignation. Whoa. That was an awesome game. What a cool idea. Normally, ending, keep the king in the center. No, he found a path in. King putting pressure on the isolated a5 pawn. What a game. Okay, here we go. The highly anticipated matchup here. Carlsen playing white against Hans, a second white here. e4, no shenanigans here. Some serious chess. Bringing out the World Chess Championship prep, Ruy Lopez. Berlin land. Okay. No queen exchange line, though. They're blitzing out the moves here, bulleting out the moves. I didn't comment yet. Carlsen's rating is over, just a bit over 3,300 here. Hans at 3,212, so they're trading machines. They're just going to have a peaceful result? No way. Carlsen's going to go for I think they're going for a draw here. Yeah, they're going for a draw. Wow, peaceful result. I think this was one of the lines. Yeah, they end up just locking all the pawns. This was one of the lines with Carlsen's game against Anand, I believe, the one time, to take it into tie breaks or something. Is he really going to try something? There still is some room over here on the king side to maneuver, but this should just be a draw. Nothing's happening after. Yeah, definitely after this. Everything is locked up. We're going to see a draw offer or maybe some silly king moves. King back and forth. They're just going to have some fun here for a bunch of more moves. Okay, how many pawns could actually move in this position? 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. But there are no good pawn breaks, clearly. You're not going to see another pawn move. Maybe at move 50 if they go to that point. They'll have to calculate, though. And make sure it's move 50, because a pawn move at this stage and you lose. No threefold repetition yet. Was this the plan all along? Some agreement? Hey, if we ever get paired up again, let's just make a draw. Go down this line here. Okay, an 87 move draw. Probably one of the first games to finish a peaceful result between the two. Okay, yeah, let's check out that opening again real quick. They were firing off all of these moves. We ended up with the symmetrical structure and, yeah, just one trade after the other. There's only one open file, so that usually results in almost all major pieces coming off. A little tactic there based on the fork, knight f6. Yeah, and there's just no progress to be made. Everything is fixed here. And silly king moves to finish. 87 mover. All right, so we're going to have one more game. Carlsen is on 9 out of 10. We'll see his final round game. Okay, final round here. What standings are? Carlsen has 9. Jeffrey Zhang has 9. And Carlsen's opponent here has 9. So Anton Korobov, the opponent here. No Rogozin. Bishop e2. All right. Isolated queen pawn will most likely be happening here for one side or the other. Thinking it's going to be for black. Or do you keep things symmetrical? You could consider a capture on c4. Okay, so a symmetrical structure. Not as much play. The symmetrical structures, b5. Keeping the tension. The queens. Bishop b7 right around the corner. Where to go with the light square bishop? Headed for f3, maybe. Rook c1. Tactically vulnerable bishop on c5. It's covered with the knight here. Knight also stays out of the way of the bishop. Dark square bishop exchange and queen here. White queen on d6, queen b6. A knight on b6 would be very good, I feel, in an ending. Looking to drive the knight away without allowing knight to a4. We do have that. Also in these positions, if we have a queen exchange, I'd be leaning towards moving this rook first so that the king can fast track its way towards the center on e7. But still keeping the tension with the queens, safeguarding the knight here. No b4 push. Once the queens are off, each side could think maybe a bit more aggressively with the pawn play. So for instance, you might think about playing g5 if this knight is no longer here. The weaknesses aren't going to be exploited in an ending like this. The knight has an eye on b3. Who is better, if any side? Don't really know. I mean, if we strip it down to just the pawns here, there's a higher quality B pawn compared to B2. B5 versus B2. I don't know how else to really look at it. The king getting to E6, it's a comfortable square, a dark square. This guy's not going to bother him. So trying to get at the C2 square now that there's no longer a C3 knight. First things first, though. Got to defend the bishop. Rook C7 comes to mind. This guy's unprotected. Rook there would run into that one. Then you still have to sort out the problem on B7. So Rook C7 it is. Any fancy knight moves? Bishop F3 could be right around the corner. Watch out for back ranked mates. Knight could be kicked. Or you could think about Bishop F3 with Rook takes Bishop as an idea. Knight A4, watch out. This Rook is a kind of short on squares. It only has these two. Knight A4, fork B2 and the Rook. Not too much of a time difference. Very jumpy knight. Where to go exactly? If you go here, then I mean C3 is weak. Oh, did not see that one coming. So how's this playing out exactly? Yeah, he's still able to land that one. Knight A4, knight takes rook, knight takes rook. Should not be enough. I'm not so... And also the pause here by white is making me think he overlooked this idea. That black didn't have to react to this threat right away. Yeah, no back rank mate. The rook is pinned. Important detail there. If the king was on F2, this move is a blunder. Rook C1. Rook D8 leading to mate. And now the king gets to sneak on over. So two pieces, or two pawns versus the piece versus the bishop. Not enough. Exchange rooks and then put the king here. You could enter first as well. Why not establish a strong rook position and then king E7, covering all invasion points? Okay, king there first. Really not sure why that isn't inserted first. Rook C2. Don't know. Okay. Oh, maybe in the end he wants Rook C3. Rook C3 on board. Wants to drive the knight away. Wants to cover this one. Possible target. Okay, he's focused right on the weak squares. No rush, notice, with taking that pawn. You probably could have, but I think there's some concern about the rook gaining some activity if you go after the A pawn, so kind of wants it all. He's not being materialistic is what I should be saying. Piece improvements first. Tracks that guy down. These guys are looking a bit scary though, must admit. Rook is under fire. Pressure on the clock. 30-second advantage for the doctor. The doctor. Can't get that out of my head from his Dr. Drunkenstein account on Lichess. So you could end up sacking a piece back for these two. Maybe he's going for that. Does he have time for this? He's saying, yeah, I do have time for this. I mean, is he going to be able to weave a mate with these three? What if they just keep pushing? Has he really worked out these details? Okay, he has to... Oh, the bishop could come back. The bishop is there in time. Okay, so it's two minor pieces versus these two. We might have resignation. Yeah, it's time to resign at this stage. For some reason, I wasn't seeing that the bishop could take a step back and be there just in the nick of time to stop promotion. So that's a winner. Let's see if he ends up actually taking the top spot. All right, there it is. Top 3 Carlsen Taking first, 10 out of 11. Jeffrey Zhang, 9.5 out of 11. And then Hans Niemann, 9 out of 11. There were actually 10 players with 9 out of 11, but Hans got that one on tie breaks. Anyhow, feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.